No,
that.
yeah. I think you're right, though. It's a different stress level because I feel like when we were, because Niles freelanced for a bit, and this was a while ago now, and so did I, but it was like, you do get to make all the decisions yourself. We're technically still employees, so it's like we're working really hard and wanted to do our job the best, but at the end of the day, it's like we can't make every single decision, and it like there's certain decisions that are made that I'd be like, I wouldn't post that or that many times a week or do this or that.
Yeah.
When you're your own boss, you essentially can make all those decisions, which is like a weird amount of freedom that I kind of didn't realize when I became like an employee, which we have a ton of creative freedom for sure at Moment, but at the end of the day, it's still just like I want to be the best employee I can be, and so whatever role I get tossed into, I'm going to try my best, and hopefully it does well for the company.
Yeah.
But there was a sense of freedom in that because it was like, if a video flops, like that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
actually
yeah.
directly affect like my
Right.
like my
Your cush
monetization.
salary, dude. Your cush salary.
But it's true. It's like if someone wants to put out a video and it kind of tanks, like that hurts their revenue overall. That hurts maybe their next Squarespace sponsorship. Hey, this video didn't do that well. It maybe hurts their how much money they make off ads, whatever. And I've always kind of felt like this is kind of weird, but when we would go to these events, like these tech events, it's like we're hanging out with people who are quote unquote like real YouTubers. Like Caleb and I were, but it was also like we're getting paid by a brand to do this. So I'd be talking to like Sarah Dici or someone, and it's like the problems that she was facing and other people were facing, like we never had to cross, and the problems that we're facing are completely different. And I always kind of felt like a wolf in sheep's clothing in some way, because it's like we're the brand that like a lot of brands are just paying these creators, and we've actually just become friends with them. So it's like I almost felt like this kind of weird like playing both sides a little bit. So there's always like a little bit of not like guilt, but of like I shouldn't be here because it actually doesn't affect me. Like my video, like whether me and Caleb make it really, really good or spend an extra couple days on it, like doesn't actually really affect us.
But,
and that was always a weird thing to me.
Yeah, but we also like will work super hard to make a great video, and like you don't see that. Like if a creator was getting a $5,000-$10,000 paycheck on a sick project, we don't get that.
So so then there's the flip side. You see the success, and you're like, well, if me and Caleb had our own channel with 500,000 subs, we would probably be making more than what we do at Moment, but we never had to grind all those years of making nothing to get there.
Exactly.
Sure. I remember what I was kind of getting back to is like I see patterns in your guys' life of things that I don't feel like I have any kind of hobby outside of running. And I see you guys gardening, and Caleb, I see you playing like with your family and the dogs, and Niles, like you're surfing and you're trapping 7 kids on a trampoline and like trying to babysit a whole army of children, which I assume are your friends' kids. I kind of see some of that and I go, man, like, do I need to work for someone to have that kind of flexibility? And I think a lot of me recently is going like, okay, I'm entering this new phase of life of just being like, I need to create that for myself. I need to create that time for myself. So I'm not just grinding away all the time, because it's really easy to default to that, and I don't want that for my life,
And when you work for yourself, it's like no one's telling you when to work and like when you can be off, right?
Yeah.
And when things are not going well, there's always the pressure to find the next gig. Like when I was freelance, people I think kind of romanticize freelance. If it works, I don't think there's anything better. Like if you're paid to make stuff that you love and are able to kind of dictate your schedule, like that sounds like the best thing ever. Yeah. But I think for me, the amount of work I was going to have to put to get there, of like you're going to do all these jobs that either one, pay well that you hate, like some sort of corporate gig or something that you don't want to shoot, or two, it doesn't pay you anything, but it's like this super fun creative project. Like I'd never found where those two met. And I think for me, I kind of realized like I can go work for a company like Moment that's super fun and that I would love as a freelance client, and just kind of consider them almost like my permanent freelance client in a way, where I'm just always working for them, and then not have to worry about, taking on someone new that is something I just don't really care to do. I've always had a really hard time faking it. Like I got started in the wedding industry, and very quickly I just got so burnt out. It was like the thing that I wish I loved that I never could find a way to love. And I found myself being like very jaded at these weddings, and people just don't deserve that. This is the best day of their life. So for me to have a bad attitude, which is so unfair. So that's kind of why I stepped away from weddings really early. But I've never been able to kind of fake it. Like I just like, if my passion isn't there, like I have a really hard time of like making it good. So I think freelance for me, just that never really worked out for that reason, because it was like, if money was tight, I was just working through the night, sending out emails, calling people, texting people, trying to figure out how to make it work. And then the minute I got the job at Moment, like stress just kind of left my life in a lot of ways. But I think for some people who like, once you get over the hump, I think like you're kind of set, you know, like there are some directors that from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, they just get paid to make whatever they want to make, and it's so good. Like, how is it so good, you know? And it's like, that's seemingly like the best case scenario. I just don't know how you get there.